Hi everybody, this is Seth, your Mild Mannered Mage, and welcome to another episode of Breaking Boxes. Today is the first of what I hope is many episodes of Breaking Boxes surrounding the latest release from Magic the Gathering of the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. We've got some great box openings for you coming up. We've got some special guests that I'm really excited about. But today we are going to be getting into this set booster box. So let's go ahead and get into it here. Well, you know, I don't know if I can get into this this plastic wrapping, so let's go ahead and just use our handy dandy kniff to get into this plastic and just make it a little bit easier for us. So with this set, we are returning to Ixalan, and that means pirates, that means vampires, and that means dinos. And with this set in particular, we are also going to be seeing, hopefully, a lot of Jurassic Park cards. And we are super excited about that. And you can see it here. 1 in 12 boosters includes a Jurassic World card. So these are going to be either your Jurassic World dual lands, where one side features the park as it is opening, and then the other side, the park when the dinosaurs have taken over, or one of the special Jurassic Park face cards. These are like Ian Malcolm, Dr. Malcolm, or Dr. Sattler, or the Indominus Rex. And then we also have some special guest cards here that are also going to be scattered throughout the series. And then we also have the Mana Crypts and the Cavernous Souls that are going to be popping up throughout this set as well. So lots of fantastic things, including, let me get this box open here, we've got a treasure trove box topper. So we're just going to pop this right here. We're going to save that for last. And let's get these packs out of the box. And as we traditionally do in breaking boxes, we are going to be dividing this out into 3 stacks. And we're going to approach this a stack at a time. So after the break, we're going to go through and start breaking into these packs 1 stack at a time. So stay tuned, and we'll see you in a moment. All right, and we are back, and we've got our first stack of 10 set boosters, and we're just going to kind of buzz through these a little different than we normally do. We're going to focus primarily on the rares, the mythic rares, any special art cards, and again, the Jurassic Park cards. So let's get into these and see what sort of goodness we've got. All right, so here is our foil, is a cave card. So our first rare out of the set is the Braided Net. Blue and 2, enters the battlefield with 3 net counters on it. Tap it to remove a net counter from Braided Net. To tap another target non-land permanent, its activated abilities can't be activated for as long as it remains tapped. So that's pretty nice. So you can keep a Soul Ring from being activated, or anything else that has an activated ability. Craft with an artifact for a blue and 1. So that turns into a Braided Cupu. I'm not exactly sure on the pronunciation of that. So 3 in a blue to tap it. Draw a card for each artifact you control. Then put Braided Cupu into its owner's library, 3rd from the top. So 4 to draw potentially a lot of cards. And then redraw this in 3 turns. So that's not too bad. Sack an artifact to turn it into the braided Kupu for 2 mana. And again, that could be a treasure, that could be a clue, that could be a food. Doesn't necessarily have to be a permanent art or a regular non-token permanent. So there we have our commons. The one thing I don't like about this set is the common and uncommon symbols are very, very hard to distinguish. So I'm actually having to look over the camera to see, make sure that I'm getting everything sorted correctly. And then there is our art card. Okay, so that is our first one. No special art cards or anything there. All right, so let's get into our next one. So, Marauding Bronfang into a Restless Ridgeline, and that looks like a ridge of a dinosaur. Enters the battlefield tapped, add a red or a green. 2 and red and green, it turns into a red-green dino. Until end of turn, and it's still a land. Whenever it attacks, another target attacking creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn, and untap that creature. All right, so a nice multi-purpose land. And into our first mythic, Don Andres, the Renegade. Blue, black, and red, and 1 for a vampire pirate. Each creature you control but don't own, so this sounds like a thief deck, gets +2/+2, has the Menaches and the Death Touch, and is a pirate in addition to its other types. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell you don't own, create 2 tapped treasure tokens. So looking at stealing some cards and casting things that you don't own. That's kind of fun. All right, and that looks like that is from the Pirate Commander decks. All right, then we have our uncommon, uncommons. And just kind of sorting through the rest of these, and I think the rest are going to be commons. Okay, so we've hit our first mythic. 2 packs in, not too shoddy so far. All right, let's get into this third pack here and see what sort of good stuff we can get. We have a foil plundering pirate into a sanguine evangelist. Battle cry, whenever this creature attacks, each other attacking creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So that would be good for a go wide token deck. Buff everything. When it enters the battlefield or dies, create a 1/1 black bat creature token with flying. So it gives you something to buff when it attacks as well. That's not too bad. And into another mythic from the Commander deck. So this is the face card for the Velociraptor. When Pantlaza, the Sun Favored, or another dino enters the battlefield under your control, you may discover X, where X is that creature's toughness. Do this only once each turn. Exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card with that mana value or less. You can cast it without paying its mana cost and put it into your hand. So you're basically cascading, with the exception of you can put it into your hand. So that's pretty awesome. I like that. That could be a lot of fun, and you're in some good colors for the cascading and the rampings. All right. And going through and getting the rest of these cards sorted. And we've got another foil, and that is the Hidden Volcano. And then there is our art card. All right, so we're 2 mythics deep in 3 packs. That's not too bad there, not too shoddy. All right, let's get into this one. We got some counters here. We've got Relic's Roar, and then a third mythic. Good grief. Resplendent Angel, 2 white and 1. Flying at the beginning of each instep, if you gain 5 or more life this turn, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. Throw in some token doublers, and you're on to something. 3 and 3 until end of turn. Resplendent Angel gets +2/+2 and gains the life link. So that's pretty good in a life gain token deck. So that's not too shoddy right there. All right, going through some of these here. See what we got. Oh, and then we've got, and it's a foil planes. That is very pretty right there. They didn't have to go this hard on this art, I swear. But, you know, it is my opinion, if they're going to make art lands like this, and again, this goes back to the Lord of the Rings cards. I felt like, you know, with the map lands, that should have just been all of the Lord of the Rings land art for the entire set. Kind of like with Zendikar, you know, you get the full art lands. For Zendikar, you should have just gotten the map lands for Lord of the Rings, and maybe these full art dino lands for Ixalan. That's just me, though. All right. Oh, actually, this goes up here. And we'll put this here. So we have the belligerent, a blue and a red and 2 for a legendary vehicle. When it attacks, create a treasure. Okay. Until end of turn, you may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. Okay. And in crew 3 for a 5/5. Not too shoddy. Okay, and then we've got a fun Scytheclaw Raptor. Whenever a player casts a spell, if it's not their turn, it deals 4 damage. We're looking at our blue players with this card right here. So just say no to blue. No. Blue, no. It's not your turn. Wait until your turn to cast your spells. I don't care what blue says. With that ley line of anticipation. Oh, and then there is our next good land card from this set. We have a mountain that is just gorgeous. Gorgeous art. Love it. All right, and let's get into the next pack here. And it looks like we've got our first list card, Jungleborn Pioneer. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 blue merfolk creature token with the hexproof. And it's a 2/2. So not too bad, I guess. That's okay. There is our foil. Into Breaches, Eager Pillager. Red and 2 for a Gobbo pirate. First strike, whenever a pirate you control attacks, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Create a treasure, like it. Target creature can't block this turn, like it. Exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn, like it. So I see no downside. So attack with 3 pirates, and I guess you get all 3 triggers. So that's pretty good. Then we've got Zoyawa Lavatongue, black and red for a Goblin Warlock. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, each opponent may discard a card or sack a permanent. Zoyawa Lavatongue deals 3 damage to each opponent who didn't. And that's some fun art. All right, and then we'll move through the rest of these. Will we hit another good land? It doesn't look like it, because we've got a cave. All right. Get these kind of straightened up here a little bit. All right, so we've just got 4 more packs left in this set, or in this block of 10. Treasure token into our foil. And then we've got Intrepid Paleontologist, green and 1. Tap it to add a mana of any color. That's always good. Pay 2 to exile a target card from a graveyard, not just your graveyard, but a graveyard. You may cast dinosaur creature spells from among cards you own exiled with Intrepid Paleontologist. If you cast a spell this way, that creature enters the battlefield with a finality counter on it. If a creature with a finality counter on it would die, exile it instead. Okay, so you can, that way it lets you cast it a couple of different times. Echoing Deeps is a cave. Is that a rare? That is a rare cave. You may have it enter the battlefield tapped as a copy of any land card in a graveyard, except it's a cave in addition to its other types. Like it. Love the art on that. That's very fun. Alright. And getting through the rest of these. I think the rest are all commons. And then there's another Plains. And then there is our art card. Alright, let me just kind of... I'm making a mess here of my stacks. Let me just kind of get these straightened up really quickly. It bothers me. These cards are so slick, they just kind of slide all over the place. Okay. 3 more packs. Maps. Our foil. And to Get Lost, this is a new card. I really like it. White and 1, destroy target creature, enchantment, or planeswalker at instant speed for 2 in white. I think that's really good. Its controller creates 2 map tokens. Map tokens, which I pulled one out of this pack here. They're artifacts with pay 1, sack it. Target creature you control explores. Activate only as a sorcery. So reveal the top card of your library. Put that card into your hand if it's a land. Otherwise, put a 1/1 counter on that creature. Then put that card back or put it into your graveyard. So I like that. For 2 mana to destroy a creature, an enchantment, or a planeswalker. I think that's a bit all right, as they say. Earthshaker Dreadmaw. So, and then you can hear my Plains puppy Frizzle barking in the background. Oh, and then there is our forest card for the set. Beautiful, beautiful art. Again, I feel like it's a missed opportunity to have just that be the art for the lands. I mean, if we can do full art for Zendikar, why can't we do it here? And then we've got another rare land, the Sunken Citadel. Enters the battlefield tapped. As it enters, choose a color. Tap it to add 1 mana of the chosen color. Tap it, add 2 mana of the chosen color. Spend this mana only to activate abilities of land sources. So that's kind of interesting. So I guess that helps activate maybe some of the caves, or turn on the abilities of some other lands. So kind of interesting. I'm not exactly sure what some of the other caves will allow you to do. All right, and there we go. And we just have 1 more pack left. Let's get into it and let's see what we got. All right, and then here is another list card. Initiate of Blood, red and 3. Tap it to deal 1 damage to target creature that was dealt damage this turn. When that creature is put into a graveyard this turn, flip Initiate of Blood. Flipping into Goka the Unjust. Tap Goka to deal 4 damage to target creature that was dealt damage this turn. I like it. Simple, straight and to the point. And it's kind of neat having these old flip cards like this. I am unsure of the rarity of this. Oh, there it is right here. Okay, it is an uncommon. And then we've got the Bringer of the Last Gift. 2 black and 6 for a vampire demon. 6/6 flying. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, each player sacks all other creatures they control. Then each player returns all creatures from their graveyard that weren't put there this way to the battlefield. So it's a living death on a stick, except you're one ahead with Bringer if you're loaded up. So that's it, kind of interesting. Living death on a stick. Didn't think I would pull one of those out of here. All right, and with that, let's see if we got a fun land here. And we've got a cave, hidden volcano. All right, and then with that, that is our first stack of 10 cards from the hidden caves of, the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. So let us do this. I'm going to give away an arena code, just as an appreciation for y'all taking the time to watch this video. So again, I appreciate y'all taking the time to watch this video. I try to give these out when I have them. So thanks for watching, and I hope that this gives you a little something for your time in Arena. All right, so when we return, we will hit the next stack of 10, and we'll see you after the break. All right, and we are back with a fresh stack of 10 packs as we go through our set booster box from the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. We have already pulled a couple of mythics from this set and some gorgeous, gorgeous full art lands. So let's continue and see what else we can get from this pack, or from this box, rather. Okay. And our first from this stack, Well of the Forgotten, blue and black. Descend 8, choose 1. If there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard as you cast this spell, choose 1 or more instead. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Okay. Target opponent discards a card. Not too bad. Look at top 3 cards of your library, put 1 into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. So that's not too bad for 2 manas, and especially if you're running a self-mill with the new Dimir God that is in this set. I think that you could really do some things with this. All right. And let's go through and check out the rest of these. And maybe I think I see a fun land. Look at that island right there. Gorgeous, gorgeous art on these. They went super hard on it, and I am all about it. So there we go. So that is our first pack. So let's get into our next one. Corpses of the Lost. Black and 2 skeletons you control get +1/+0 and have haste. When Corpses of the Lost enter the battlefield, create a 2/2 black skeleton pirate creature token. And at the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, you may pay 1 life. If you do, return Corpses of the Lost to its owner's hand. You descended it if a permanent card was put into your graveyard from anywhere. So you could probably keep recurring Corpses of the Lost so that you can make a bunch of skeletons and beef them up. Not too shoddy. All right. And Then we have Hidden Necropolis as our land. Oh, he's fun looking. What is that card? The Basking Capybara. I wonder what that one is. Have to keep an eye out for him. That looks like it would be a fun card. All right. Consume the Spirit is one of our list cards. Black and 1 in X. Spend only black mana on X. Deals X damage to target creature or player, and you gain X life. That sounds great to me. So basically 2 in X to deal damage and gain life. And in a black deck, that is definitely doable. Polani's Hatcher, red and green and 3. Other dinos you control have haste. Love it. Enters the battlefield, create 2 0/1 green dino egg creature tokens. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 1 or more eggs, sack an egg and create a 3/3 green dino creature token. That seems really good. Was this work with the egg tender lady? I'm trying to remember what colors she is. Comment below if you remember what colors the nest tender is. I want to say she has red and green, but I can't remember off the top of my head. So comment below and let me know. I honestly cannot remember. Altar of the Wretched, black and 2. This is a commander deck card. When Altar of the Wretched enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a non-token creature. If you do, draw X, then mill X, where X is that creature's power. Craft with 1 or more creatures for 2 and 2 black. Pay a black and 2, return Altar of the Wretched from your graveyard to your hand, and it turns into a Wretched Bone Mass, Star. Power and toughness are each equal to the total power of the exile cards used to craft it. Has flying as long as the exile card used to craft it had flying. Same is true with First Strike, Double Strike, Death, Touch, Haste, Exile. That's pretty horrifying. Yeah. I kind of like that. That could get kind of stupid to make a really super powered creature, and then you keep returning it. You can sack the token with it and just making the creature bigger and tougher over and over again. And it's sack it with 1 or more creatures. Well, no, it flips over, so you would need 2, so it wouldn't work in Commander, but still, that could be ridiculous. Restless Vents enters tapped. Tap it for black and red. Pay 1 black-red until end of turn. It turns into a black-red 2/3 insect creature with Menace. Still a land. When it attacks, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Okay. Still trying to think of ways that we can abuse that that artifact, because that just seems like that should be the thing to do, is find ways to abuse that card, because that seems like that could be stupid. I'm sure there are ways, I just cannot think of them off the top of my head. Another list card, Crystalline Crawler, and this is a rare card for 4 mana. Enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it for each color of mana spent to cast it. Remove a 1/1 counter. Add 1 mana of any color. Tap it to put a 1/1 counter on it. That is pretty good. And in the end, if it has no counters on it, you still have a 1/1 creature. The Ever-Flowing Well, blue and 2. Enters the battlefield, mill 2, then draw 2. Descend 8 at the beginning of your upkeep. If there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, transform it. And it turns into the Myriad Pools. Tap it to add blue. Whenever you cast a permanent spell using mana produced by the Myriad Pools, up to one other target permanent you control becomes a copy of that spell until end of turn. Interesting. So if you cast a creature, it becomes a copy of that. A permanent becomes a copy of that creature. What if you cast an instant? Oh, it's got to be whenever you cast a permanent spell. Okay, so you can just spam out, a couple of big things, maybe a big nasty things, and then just swing out with it. That could be interesting. All right. All right, and then there's our swamp. So I believe now we have hit all 5 colors of Magic with these special art lands. Again, would love to see them just do those full art lands in these sets, not just do, the regular basics. Again, we can do it with Zendikar. Why can't we do it with the others? Thrashing Brontodon. Pakal, first among equals. Blue and 2 for Human Advisor. At the beginning of each player's end step, if an artifact entered the battlefield under your control this turn, look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one into your hand and the other into the graveyard. So a good way to start kind of cycling through things. Rampaging Ceratops. Can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures. All right. And then we have another cave. Okay. And then our art card. And moving into our next pack. So we're just buzzing right along here. Oh, try not to knock my stack over. Squirming Emergence for sorcery, black and green and 1. Fathomless Descent. Return to the battlefield. Target non-land permanent card in your graveyard with mana value less than or equal to the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with this. This is really good. So count the number of permanent cards in your graveyard and then return one that has mana value less than or equal to the number. I'm all about this. And you're in the right colors to do it in too. So that's really great. Bartolome del Presidio. This guy's getting a lot of talk. I think Star City Games. He's the new aristocrat vampire. Sack another creature or artifact. Put a 1/1 counter on him. He's a 2/1. So aristocrat vampires. That is a thing. Alright, and there we go. Next pack. And don't forget, we still have this treasure trove box topper to open at the very end. What sort of goodness will we get? Hit the Mother Load. 3 red and 4. Discover 10. If the discovered card's mana value is less than 10, create a number of tapped treasure tokens equal to the difference. I like that. To discover 10 exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card with mana value 10 or less. Cast it without paying its mana cost or put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom in random order. I really like that. That's fantastic. I would totally put this in my Prosper deck because I would make a bunch of tap treasure tokens. Totally do that. Cutzil, Malamet Exemplar. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Whenever one or more creatures you control with power greater than its base power deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. That's pretty good too. So Voltron out your creatures, deal damage, and draw cards. Give them all trample. Here's that guy in the original print too. So definitely be on the lookout for him. All right, and then another cave. Get these all straightened out. And we are 3 packs left in this set. All right. So we've got Echoing Deeps. We've already seen this one, but it enters as a copy of any land in a graveyard. Fancy art on Earthshaker Dreadmaw. Here's battlefield, draw a card for each dino you control. And then Hidden Necropolis. All right. 2 more, counting this one. So we're still looking for some Jurassic Park cards, hoping to hit one. That would be nice. Threefold Thunderhulk. 7 mana for a Gnome 0/0. Enters battlefield with 3 1/1 counters on it. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, create a number of 1/1 colorless Gnome artifact creature tokens equal to its power. Pay 2, sack another artifact, put a 1/1 counter on Threefold Thunderhulk. So comes in with 3 counters. So would you get 3 gnomes as it comes in? Because it comes in as a 0. It gets 3. I would imagine you would go ahead and get the 3. Yeah, because that would be its power. So yeah. Okay. I think I'm down with that. Okay. And then there's another forest card. So again, yeah, we're hitting a lot of those fancy lands, just not seeing any Jurassic Park cards. And I know that's what we all want to see. Brago's Representative as a list card. While voting, you get an additional vote. There we go. Okay. Deep Fathom Echo. 2 and green and blue. At the beginning of combat on your turn, it explores. Then you may have it become a copy of another creature you control until end of turn. That's kind of scary, especially if you make it something big and scary. So that could be. And talking about things that are big and scary, here's our first Jurassic Park land. Now, as we were talking about these, so this is the Mosasaur. So on the one side, we have the art of the park while the humans are there. And then on the opposite side, it's the art after the dinosaurs take over. So, wow, that is fantastic. Love the way that looks. That's from Jurassic World Dominion, I believe. The second Jurassic World movie. That is fantastic. Love that. Love it. All right. Knew we were bound to hit one sooner or later. It's like, it's about time. But we still haven't seen any of the regular cards, but we did get one of the lands. So that's at least something. Okay, so with that, that is our last set, and we are joined, well, she's not going to cross in front of the camera, but we are now joined by Coraline, the Planeskitty, who's now bumping up against the camera. Let me see if I can I flip it around now? Nope, I cannot. So we'll say, there's her fur. So say hi, Coraline. Yep, say hi. Okay. So again, thank y'all for hanging out with me so far. As a thank you, here is yet another MtG Arena code just for hanging out with me as we are watching, as you are watching me open this box of the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. And after the break, and after I get Coraline off the desk, we will open this last box, this last set of 10 and get into this treasure trove box topper. We'll see you after the break. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back, and we are with our last set of 10 booster packs from this box of the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. So without ado, let's go ahead and get into it. I am joined once again by Coraline, the Planeskitty, who has decided to come in and join me as I am filming. So this is going to be rather rough, this last little bit. So please bear with me as we're going through this. All right, so here we have one of our gods, Ozurtok, the Deepest Foundation. You may, if one or more creature tokens would be created under your control, 3 times that many would be created instead. If it dies, return it to the battlefield tapped and transformed under its owner's control. And it does turn into the Temple of Civilization. Tap it for a white, pay a white and 2 to turn back, but only if you attack with 3 or more creatures in this turn, and only as a sorcery. So that is definitely one of the big cards that folks are looking for this go round. Then coming to us from Eldraine, we do have Kellen, the Daring Traveler. Human Fairy Scout, white and 1, going on an adventure with Journey On for a green mana to create X map tokens, where X is 1 plus the number of opponents who control an artifact. And then whenever Kellen, Daring Traveler attacks, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card with mana value 3 or less, put it into your hand. Otherwise, you may put it into your graveyard. So, very nice on this first pack. Then we have Capricati Sunborn, red, white, and 2. Whenever it attacks, you may tap 2 untapped artifacts and or creatures you control to discover 3. Okay. Lots of good stuff so far. And that's just the first pack. All right. And now Coraline is sitting right next to me, pouting because she wanted to be on camera. All right. Vito, Fanatic of Alcazats, another mythic. So this is our second mythic of this set of 10. Vampire Demon, white and black and 2, flying 4/4. Whenever you sack another permanent, gain 2 life if this is the first time this ability has resolved. If it's the second time, each opponent loses 2. If it's the third time, make a 4/3 white and black Vampire Demon creature token with the flying. So this would be great for white-black aristocrats. So I think that would be a fun build. Into our next Jurassic Park land. This one a mountain, again, one side showing the happy dinos, and then the second showing dinos running the amoks. So that is a lot of fun. I'm happy to hit another one of those. And then we have a Kawali, the Seething Tower, black and green in 1. Descend 4 as long as there are 4 or more permanent cards in your graveyard. Akawali, the Seething Tower, gets +2/+2 and has trample. Descend 8 as long as there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard. He gets an additional +2/+2 and can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Throw me some trample on there for this 7/7 and we can Voltron him out, and I think that is going to be a beastie boy right there. All right, and there we go. There's our art card into our next pack. There we go. So we have a Restless Reef. Enters the battlefield tapped, add blue or black. This one turns into a shark with the Death Touch. And when it attacks, target player mills 4 cards. Pretty good. These creature lands are pretty fun this go around. I'm kind of digging them. I think they've got some fantastic abilities. And then there is another fun full art mountain card. And then the mountain art card to match it. Kind of digging that. I don't know why you couldn't use that as a mountain either. Another list card, Gather Courage. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of the turns. Here we've got a Hulking Raptor, 2 green and 2. Ward 2 at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase. Add 2 green. Simple to the point. I like it. And the extra mana is always useful. Then we've got a Jurassic Park Command Tower. I'm digging the art on this. That base of operations. Does it have something on the other side? And then the dinosaurs as it is rotting in the background. I really like this command tower. That's pretty awesome. That's fantastic. Throw that in your dinosaur commander deck. So that gives us 3 Jurassic Park lands that we've hit in this set. Fantastic. All right. Is that a rare? That is a full rare. Pugnacious Hammer Skull. When it attacks while you don't control another dinosaur, put a stun counter on it. Well, that's interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. Just make sure you have another dinosaur out so you don't have to worry about it. Bone Horde Dracosaur, 2 red and 3 for a Dino Dragon. Flying First Strike. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. If you exiled a land card this way, create a 3/1 red Dino creature token. If you exiled a non-land card this way, create a treasure. That's kind of fun. I kind of like that. That's fun. That's a little silly. Into another Thrashing Brontodon. Pay 1 to sack it, destroy target artifact or creature. All right. Excuse me. That one just kind of jumped out at me. Didn't mean to do that right into the microphone. Tarian's Journal. Tap it to sack another artifact or creature to draw a card. Pay 2 to tap it to discard your hand to transform it into a legendary cave. Tap it to add a black. You may cast a creature spell from your graveyard this turn. If you do, it enters the battlefield with a finality counter on it, and it's a vampire. That's okay, but you're having to waste your hand to do it, so that's kind of, I don't know. The ancient one, black and blue for a spirit god, 8/8 Descendate. So it's 2 mana for an 8/8. Can't attack or block unless there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard. You're just 1 windfall away from fixing that. Pay 2, a blue and a black to draw a card, then discard a card. When you discard a card this way, target player mills cards equal to its mana value. Even doing that, you're going to be milling yourself. So, doing a little self-mill, attacking with the Spirit God. Yeah, I think this could be a really fun commander deck. That's right, Coraline. We like mill, no matter what other people say. I am a terrible person. I am the person that likes mill. Yeah, I know. Let me know in the comments, what do y'all think about milling? I know people usually have strong opinions about mill. I learned to play Magic through milling, so you know, I'm okay with it. I think it's a very viable option. Look at this beautiful Get Lost in the alternate art, and it's foil. That is absolutely gorgeous, and we are blessed to have the lady Planeskitty Coraline back with us in the studio. Into another god, Osier. Oh, sorry about that, everybody. Trying to film through kitty butt is a lot of fun. All right, here we go. Osier Kozlim, the Deepest Growth. When it deals combat damage to a player, reveal that many cards. From the top of your library, you may put a creature and or a land card from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom in a random order. When it dies, return it to the battlefield transformed. So it's going to turn into a land. Tap it for a green. And then if you have 10 or more permanents, you can pay 3 to flip it back into its god form. So that's pretty good, Coraline. Okay, hang on. Hang on. We're just going to put you right here into my lap. It's okay. Okay, there we go. Right into the lap. That's a little bit better. Okay. And you're going to snake your way out because you're a cat. Okay. And I hope everybody is enjoying the show with Coraline. Filming with pets does make things a lot more interesting, I tell you. That's all right. She's made it through almost the entirety of the recording without disrupting a whole lot. So that's all right. Same with Miss Frizzle, our other Plains pet. Miss Frizzle is our Plains puppy, who is friends with the Planeskitty Coraline. Alright. Subterranean Schooner, when it attacks target creature that crewed it this turn explores. Crew 1 for a 3/4. Nakanzil, the Current Conductor, when Whenever a creature you control explores a land card, you may put a land from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Whenever a creature you control explores a non-land card, put a 1/1 counter on to cancel the current conductor. That's pretty good, especially with the new... and then there's the regular art for her. With the new Merfolk deck that has come out, there's lots of exploring to do with it as well. And a hidden courtyard. And we are about done with this box, folks. 2 more packs remain, and then we have the Treasure Trove box topper. We got another list card, the Brunor the Battlehammer from Adventures of the Forgotten Realm. Red and white N2 for a Dwarf Warrior. Each creature you control gets +2/+0 for each equipment attached to it. You may pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost for the first equip ability you activate each turn for a 5/3. Another Restless Vents. Into another Breaches Eager Pillager. Love the art on that. Makes him very scary. Into a Captain Storm. I can't read that. Raider. Something Raider. Human Pirate. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on target pirate you control. Lots of fun. Alright. And we are about at the end. And then we've got a fun foil island. Look at that. I love that. And then here it is, our last full pack. And then we'll move directly into our Treasure Trove box topper. And here is a special guest, the Pitless Plunderer. Black and 3 for a human pirate. Whenever another creature you control dies, create a treasure token. That's pretty fantastic. I like that. That would go great in my my Prosper deck, which revolves around the creation of treasure tokens. So that's pretty awesome. We're going to put him over here. And then we've got NT Sessional of the Sun. Whenever you attack, you may discard a card. When you do, put a 1/1 counter on target attacking creature. It gains trample until end of turn. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card until your next end step. And that looks like finishes us out for this box. And that does. All right. Well, that is it. That finishes out the box. We're going to take a brief second, and we'll be back to open this Treasure Trove box topper. All right, and we are back, and we are going to open this Treasure Trove box topper and see what sort of goodness we have in there. But before we do that, as one more thank you, I have one more arena code for you. So thank you for hanging out with me as I've opened this set booster box of the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. So enjoy this code on me. I hope you get lots of good stuff on the arena. And let us check out our box topper from this set booster box. I always worry about trying to open these because there's just the one card and they're so flimsy. So let's see if we can get into it without messing it up too much. There we go. All right. So here we go. Hopefully it's something good. Let's see what it is, and we'll flip it in. 3, 2, 1. Booyah! And we've got a Thought Vessel. And it is uncommon, and I think 65% of the cards in the treasure trove are uncommon, so that is fine. But Thought Vessel is a good card in Commander. 2 mana for an artifact. You have no max hand size. Tap it to add a colorless mana. There is no paying. But this does give you no max hand size, and you tap it for a colorless mana. So that is it. That is everything from this box of the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Once again, I'm Seth, your Mild Mannered Mage. Join us next time for another. We've got several more openings going to be happening. We do have a case of collector's editions of the Lost Caverns of Ixalan coming soon. As soon as they arrive to our local game store, we'll be doing a on locale box opening of those boxes as well. So again, I'm Seth, your Mild Mannered Mage. Thank you again for joining us, and tune in next time to the next episode of Breaking Boxes. Y'all have a great evening. We'll see ya. Good night.